To it.
There it is. See, we are live. We are on time. We are ready to go.
Word.
Where the people at? All right, we'll
I'm
wait for y'all. We'll wait for y'all. Don't worry. Oh,
I'm looking.
oh, oh
I'm looking
man.
on my phone, man. I'm waiting for something to show up on my phone
Wait,
so I can share this bad boy.
share that thing.
I'm gonna refresh the page,
We
see
are
what it does.
live.
Oh, there it is, right there.
Oh, look at that. Refresh. Gotta refresh.
Share this bad boy.
Brush your shoulders off. Refresh.
I'm gonna do live. Boom.
There it is.
Check that out, man. See, that's the way to do it. See, we got the YouTube link and everything.
Boom.
Man.
We are actually starting to figure this thing out, y'all.
Oh, I think one day, man, we're gonna be legit, man. One day we're gonna be too legit to quit. You know
Oh
what I'm
no, you
saying?
didn't. Come on, Hammer. Hammer, don't quit. Hammer,
Easy
don't
hammer
hurt
don't
him.
hurt him. Easy hammer don't hurt him. Man, I got
All
this
right.
little part of my hair up here, man.
I don't even want to. I don't even want to show you my hair. I'm gonna put that back on right now. I've
I
been
gotta
in the
talk
helmet.
to I gotta talk to my man hashtag Rory Fisher, man. I need to get up in there and get my fade tightened up, man. I
What's
still
going
got
on,
another week.
Rory? He just called you out. What's going on? Talk about
That's all right.
challenge.
I need
You have
to
been
get up,
called out.
I need to get up in there and get my fade tightened up, man. You know what I'm saying? For real, man. We've been live for a minute and a half. Let's give it 2 minutes. Let's
We
we
All
got 30
right.
seconds. Let's give them a 30 second. Let's give
All
them a
right. We got
free.
two. Yep. We
Whenever
got
you
three.
when
We
like
got three people in.
on
Y'all
the radio
three.
on the
Invite
radio we
three
do like
more.
this. On the radio we do like this for 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Like whenever like we got a break or we got 30 seconds left or whatever. That's how we
Yo,
normally do it
yo,
on the radio.
Carlos. Carlos in the
But
house.
hey, if you're watching this, let's go ahead and get this out of the way right now. If you're watching this on either one of our pages, to the Mad Men and Masculinity page, you can comment. We can see these bad boys live.
Yeah.
Actually,
So
so
hop
that's
on over.
you can comment live and provide some feedback. What up, homies? J.
Yes,
Carlos
sir.
Ruiz.
That's Silos right there.
My man. Hey, so boom, I think we into it, man.
We are
Hey, I'm
into it.
Kirk M. Samuels.
And I am Jason B. Kendrick.
And we are the Mad Men of Masculinity, baby.
That's right. We're just real men having real conversations for you.
For you. I got 4 up there. I got 4 kids, man. I got a lot of seed, man. I spread my seed around, man. I'm prolific. I'm prolific with the seed, man. I'm a seed spreader.
All right, Johnny Appleseed.
You know what I'm saying? Let's see. He says, "What's the challenge?" That's a great question, man. He's like, "Let's get to it, man." He's like, "Let's get to it." So, I thought about this, man, and I'm gonna tell you the origin of kind of this. I'm gonna tell you the origin of the whole idea. A little story yesterday. I took my son by Marine Corps recruiting office, man. And just to get him to talk and think out something. He's still got another year of school left, and just to get him to talk out and think some stuff. Give me some light. Think some stuff out and all that kind of stuff. And so, man, I was reflecting on the first time I went to a recruiting office. You remember the first time, that's like
it's a surreal experience, man.
And so, just in there and just the conversations with them and just the things that we talked about and in there, man, they're pretty hard. They got a pull-up bar like right up in the office, man. They got like almost a half a gym like in the back of their office, man. They bring teens in there to work out, like a few times a week and all kinds. They got like a chart up on the wall of everybody's numbers, like pull-ups, push-ups, and crunches. I mean, man, they got the date and all that kind of stuff, man. It's and then I noticed, I realized, like, as my son was kind of talking to the recruiter, I was trying to give him some space. I was trying to stay out of it a little bit. And just allow him to kind of have that conversation. One of the things that was a kind of reoccurring theme to their conversation was just, the whole idea of challenges, the whole idea of, them challenging, recruits and them challenging people to kind of step up to be a better version of themselves and that sort of thing, which I really respected. I really dug that. And I just reflected back, I'm 30 years older than my son, right? So, I'm reflecting back and I'm like, man, when I was that age, the whole idea of like being challenged, the whole idea of going to boot camp, the whole idea of like, everything facing that conversation, man, that kind of freaked me out back then, man. It was like, whoa, like, stepping up to the next level. But then I thought about it. I was listening to that conversation almost like 30 years ago in real time. And then I'm having this whole other conversation with me 30 years later, like in real time. And I realized that, 30 years difference, I realized that I said realize a whole lot of times right there, but
Did
I
you realize?
I realized that when you're in kind of boy space, the whole idea of being challenged is not something that's too appealing. But one of the things that is the difference between, I think, between a difference between a boy and a man is in the process or part of being a man is experiencing the challenges of life and everything that brings about. I think part of us being a man is the whole idea of meeting challenges and dealing with those challenges. And so I think as men we need challenges, but I think as boys we run from challenges. So I think even as a man, when we find ourselves at a moment, a ceiling, an obstacle, whatever it was, a challenge, when we feel ourselves feeling the fear of that, then that's like the boy in us saying, no, I don't want to go there. And we can recognize that, but at the same time, being at that moment, that obstacle, that challenge, and recognizing that this is necessary for who I need to be and who I need to become, that's the man in us that's stepping up to that moment. And that challenge can look any kind of ways, but either way, it's just the whole idea of challenges, man, and the difference between boy and man with the same exact thing, man. I just thought that was a pretty interesting thing to unpack in real time.
Yeah, I mean, the when I started thinking about this whole thing, what really kind of came to me was kind of the mindset piece and how it seemed like, especially in my experience, challenges as a boy, the things that scared me about challenges were these external challenges.
Mm-hmm.
It triggered my instinct of perfectionism and worry about failure when I was challenged by another boy or a girl or my father or a teacher or something.
Mm-hmm.
The initial response was fear. And now I realize my challenges are more internal. I challenge
Right.
myself more, and I realized as well going through my own growth process. There were many years where I stopped challenging myself. Like I kind of gave up. I was like, "Well, I'm no good at this. I'm no good at that." Or I tried that and I failed there, so I just kind of gave up. And it was just in this recent time of going, you know what? As a man, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be a man, just to even respect myself, to feel like a
Mm-hmm.
man, if I'm not challenging myself,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not giving myself something to grow. And
Mm-hmm.
so now it's adding things in like the physical workouts or even doing things like the racing and things, just something to challenge, something that I can get better at. Because like I think a lot of times we get into this perfectionistic mindset of, oh well, I'm good enough, or I need to be good enough, or if I challenge myself, that's going to show me where I'm weak. So then I'm going to feel like a failure, and that's where we need to be focusing,
Mm-hmm.
not away from that, but towards that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think yeah, is it Carlos? Does he go by
Yep.
Carlos? You go by
Yep.
Carlos. So I see he says is it self-challenged or imposed, and I think, I think life will impose challenges
Mhm.
naturally. And I think as men, though, we get to the point where when we find ourselves not being challenged, then we're doomed for some kind of a failure. We're doomed to fall in some kind of a way when we're not challenged. So I think as men, we have to find a way to challenge ourselves sometimes. We got to find challenge, whether it's in the gym, whether it's just even in the home in terms of being a father, being a husband, or being, whatever your role is in a family unit. What in whatever capacity, whether it's on a race course with go-karts, whether
Mhm.
it's just on a trail, doing a run or something like that, getting on the floor doing push-ups, career, whatever it is. But I think when we find ourselves as men not challenged, then I think we're doomed for some kind of a stumble because we just get lazy, we get dull, our sword, our blade gets dull, and we're not the sharp edged instrument that we should be in our culture.
Yeah, I mean, and we have said, I don't know how many times throughout these videos and to other men and through the work, iron sharpens iron.
Mm-hmm.
Men need other men, and part of that is because men challenge men. It's part of masculine nature,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Well,
know
we,
that.
we should challenge each other. That's it.
Yeah,
We should challenge each other. I don't know that we always do, but we should challenge
Right.
each other.
Well, even in just joking around and how we
Hmm.
tease and razz each other and give each
Hmm.
other a hard time. And I know part of the cultural narrative now is to train that out of little boys. I think that that aggressiveness or that challenging is a bad thing, but that's part of just natural masculinity.
Hmm.
And so if we, in my own experience, being a nice guy and growing up in that, and looking to the feminine, looking to women for my validation, looking to
Hmm.
them like, and
Hmm.
and and basically failing in that way as a man and
Hmm.
having to reprogram and challenge myself that no, 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 I need to validate myself and I need
Hmm.
other men to be my sounding board and to not take men's challenges personally, but as like, yes, this is my mirror. This is my gym.
Yeah.
These men, these masculine men, these challenges, whether they're physical, mental,
Hmm.
emotional, that hones me. That turns
Hmm.
into that sharpening of that blade, that iron sharpening iron.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things I know a lot. We've even had this discussion before. Like a lot of women don't understand why men challenge each other or razz each other or give each other a hard time. But the best of friends, when they talk to each other, it doesn't sound like they like each other at all.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
that's part of that. That's how we shit test each other. I'm
Hmm.
sorry, YouTube. I know you don't like that language, but that's how we do it. It's the
Hmm.
same sort of thing. If you cannot handle a joke, if you cannot handle a challenge, how can I trust you?
Yeah. And I think this is an interesting twist in terms of manhood, just the whole idea of men in community,
Mhm.
men with other men, men amongst men, us sharpening each other. And I think about it, and I started off with the whole boot camp analogy. Nobody goes through boot camp alone. And even as you show up to boot camp and you get off the bus, there's somebody there with probably some kind of Smokey the Bear hat or something like that, waiting to sharpen you. So the sharpening doesn't happen alone. It doesn't happen in isolation. It shouldn't happen. And it absolutely happens in group and in community. And unfortunately, a lot of guys find themselves alone without a community. And then we get off track and we become consumers as opposed to creators. But you think about sports. Sports happen in groups, even individual sports like golf. You have a caddy.
Mhm.
In every sport you have a coach, right? I mean, nobody participates in a sport without any kind of a mentorship or any kind of a community involvement or anything like that. And if nothing else, a sport, the whole idea of sport, generally speaking, is challenge, is
Yeah,
is some sort of competition.
it's totally the competition, even if it's a single sport like golf or
Yeah.
surfing or skateboarding or snowboarding, something like that. If you had nobody to compete with, nobody to challenge you, nobody to
Right.
raise your game up to
Right.
to to try and beat,
Right.
you're just out there by yourself. And yeah, that
Right.
can be
Yeah.
fun. It's not challenging. It's the challenge that brings the fun. It brings the depth. It
Yeah.
brings that adrenaline, that feeling of growth and
Yeah.
accomplishment. If
Yeah.
it's you can beat yourself all day long and be like, oh, I won, I
Yeah.
beat my time. It's not the same.
Right.
It's that getting in the competition, getting in with other groups. So you need other people for that, and
Right.
um, not having a group, and that is kind of one of those things that definitely happens just naturally for men. After if you're in high school or college, you have a natural group of friends. If you're in the military, you have a natural group of friends because
Hmm.
you're grouped together.
Hmm.
Then once you get out into the workforce and you're starting to have a family and things, then you have somebody at work, but most likely you start to lose friends. You don't have that
Hmm.
natural group where you're just grouped together. So then it becomes, are you going to challenge yourself to find a group? Are you
Right.
going to challenge yourself to make that group so that you have those
Right.
men, that you have
Yeah.
somebody to challenge you and to sharpen you?
And I think that's key, man, in terms of us as guys, man. I think when we find ourselves spending a whole lot of time alone, then we're destined for addiction. We're
Mhm.
destined for depression. We're destined for, something that ends in, I mean, suicide happens when you're alone,
Yeah.
right? I mean, all those things come in isolation and hopelessness, and all those things happen, generally speaking, when you're alone. Now, you can be lonely within a group full of people. That's something totally different. But in terms of community, in terms of us as guys, when we find ourselves living isolated and cut off lives, man, then we're doomed to not be challenged, and we're doomed to not end up where we want to be, man. The only way we get to where we want to be or where we need to be or where we're called to be as men, the only way we get back to taking our power and taking back our manpower, and power is not dominance, by the way. So I'm not talking about beating ourselves on the chest and go demanding that the world submit to that. I'm talking about men taking back our power as men, where we're leaders and we're encouragers and we're creators, not consumers. When we spend a whole lot of time consuming, man, we just get fat, dumb, and lazy on the couch. eating flaming hot Cheetos and watching reality TV, man. And I mean, that is no life at all. Like, there's no purpose, there's no calling, there's none of that kind of stuff. So we as guys need to find ourselves in some kind of a community of men.
Yeah, I mean we've just gone through a whole series of that with the shutdowns and the COVID stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I know I'm just as guilty as everyone else. I put on so much weight. I look back at some of those videos we did in last winter, and I'm like, good lord, I triple
Mm-hmm.
chin and looking like
Mm-hmm.
Jabba the Hutt over here. I'm like, good god.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, as men, we tend to be okay alone. We
Yeah.
tend to be like, I'm okay alone.
Yeah.
It's a slippery slope, though. It's a
Mm-hmm.
very slippery slope because yeah,
Right.
you can enjoy your alone time, but if you're not either with checking in with other men, or you have
Yeah.
something that you're challenging yourself with, whether it's checking in with a man and saying how's your workout, how's this, how's that, what's your self growth like right now, what's your self development like, what are you working on? If you
Yeah.
just are by yourself and there's no one there to check in with, there's no one
Yeah.
there to not necessarily measure yourself with, but at least hold you
Mm-hmm.
accountable, or that you can actually go, oh, I know my boy's going to be checking in on me, so I
Yeah.
need to make sure I get some stuff done, and
Yeah.
start that self challenge that way, and use them
Yeah.
as an accountability partner.
Yeah, that's the word I was about to lean into, man. That's where you find accountability and that kind of stuff, man. And I think, I think we do need to not only find ourselves just in groups of people, but like solid groups of people where we are checking in on one another. We are saying, hey man, how you doing? And on top of that, when somebody kind of sees you going off into la la land, is able to say, hey my man, what's up? I mean, my man Nate, man, what's up, Nate? I ain't seen you in a minute, brother. Um, but just the whole idea of us living in some kind of community. And I have a challenging something that just popped into my mind, man. It's kind of a challenging thought, maybe a little bit taboo. And
My
I think,
favorite.
yeah, I think it takes a man to make a man.
Mhm.
I don't think femininity can make masculinity other than like birth. And that's not even making, that's delivering kind of. And so I think when I'm talking about living in community, now one of the areas where you can be challenged is in the area of intimacy with someone of the opposite sex. The whole ability to have relationship, the whole ability to be in an intimate space, a healthy intimate space with a woman, for example. But at the same time, I personally don't think that a woman can be your main source of sharpening. Now, all women, if you're in a relationship with a woman, you have a challenge, right? I mean, that's just part of it. That just comes with it, man. She's gonna challenge you, bro. And if she doesn't challenge you, then there's something off. I mean, she ain't really in it. But if she's in it, she's gonna test you, she's gonna tempt you, and she's gonna. I mean, those are just the things that she's gonna do as part of their relationship, and that's just natural. So, but at the same time, that should be almost our proving ground, not our training ground. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, that's where we should shine because we're sharp, because we're able to be healthy. When I get mad at her, I don't smack her up against the refrigerator because that's not healthy, right? I mean, I learned how to deal with all those kinds of things. I learned how to develop. That's what I mean by the power of masculinity. I'm able to self-regulate and self-govern and all those kinds of things. But we develop all of that so that when we can be in the spaces of, say, like, for example, relationship, that when we come home, then we're able to be healthy and we're able to be the structure that holds up the house.
Yeah. I mean, going back to the point of needing masculinity to create masculinity. I mean, just look at nice guy syndrome. You look at what's going on in the world today, and the proof is in the pudding. I mean, maybe they haven't done an official scientific study, but results are results. If there's not a healthy masculine influence in that child's life, then they're not going to have become the healthy masculine. They're going
Mm-hmm.
to be the feminized masculine, or the nice guy that looks to the feminine for validation. And
Mm-hmm.
it takes them, and normally in those cases, and I was one of them, and it's only been in the last few years where I've really worked my way out of that by understanding what nice guy
Mm-hmm.
syndrome is and
Mm-hmm.
why it's unhealthy,
Mm-hmm.
is that by looking to the feminine, as a man for our validation, we lose the very power that is the masculinity, because the
Mhm.
power that is masculinity is the self-awareness. It's that
Mhm.
self-directedness, is that
Mhm.
I know who I am, I know who my core is, and that's how I can lead, because I
Mhm.
know who I am. And so I can take on those challenges from my mate, from society, from the world.
Mhm.
If we don't feel like we're solid within our core, or have that idea of this is who I am as a man, as a person, then how do I face the challenges in the world? That's that same, like the old saying, you either stand for something or you stand for nothing. If you're not
Mhm.
standing for yourself, or your partner or your family,
Mhm.
and if you don't have those masculine influences in your life, then find them,
Mhm.
add them to your life, because that's where that being around masculine men. And that's the thing too. We've kind of adopted this feminized, like we need to get in circle and talk.
Mhm.
Men don't necessarily need to talk to get a benefit from being with men. We need to do
Mhm.
things. That's
Mhm.
why camping, hiking, hunting,
Mhm.
playing sports, getting out there. I mean, we there's all the jokes in the world about, well, what'd you guys talk about? I don't know. But
Nothing.
we were together all weekend. Like,
Yeah.
what's all, how's his wife? How's his kids? Why is he getting divorced? I don't know.
Mhm.
But that's
Yeah.
not what the masculine needs. We just need to
Right.
be in each other's presence and have that, because it just happens naturally. We get in each other's
Right.
presence, and all of a sudden we want to compete. We want to
Yeah.
challenge each other. We want to push
Yeah.
each other. We want to see our limits.
Mhm.
And that's part of that honing the masculine to become like, then you know your limits. You know
Yeah.
where you're strong. You know where you're weak. You know
Yeah.
where you stand.
Yeah.
Without the challenge, you have no idea.
Yeah. So just to reset here, Mad Men and Masculinity, talking about the whole idea of challenges, men, boys challenging, et cetera, et cetera. If you're watching us on either one of our Facebook pages, go to the Mad Men and Masculinity page, and you can comment live, just like a couple brothers have here today.
Yes, sir.
Like, subscribe, share, all that kind of good stuff. But man, when you talk about when you talk about validation, when we're in our healthiest, when we're in our strength, when we're in our masculine power, and again, masculine power is a good thing. Like it is safe, and it is providing, and it is assuring. You know what else it is? It's validating. So we should not be entering into the world looking for validation. We should be bringing validation to the places in the world where we show up. You know what I'm saying? Like to our family, to our workplace, to our or whatever social circle is. If you're in a church, maybe it's a church. If you're in a softball team, maybe it's a softball team. But we show up, when we show up in our power, we show up, encouraging folks. We show up and people say, "Wow, I'm glad you're here." When we walk in the door, people feel at ease because we're there. And so that's how we should show up, as opposed to showing up in the pseudo masculine, more feminized version, where somebody give me some validation. I want to find validation in my work, and if I'm successful at this and that and all of the external things that don't last, if I'm successful in all of those things, then somehow I'm whatever. Or I mean, well, when we show up looking for validation, then we're always going to be, feminized. We're always going to, it's the pussification of men in terms of us looking for that. We should be able to show up and provide that. We should
Right.
be able to walk in the door because we've been challenged. We've been challenging ourselves. We've been challenging each other. We're living in community, harmony, fellowship. We're solving problems, not creating problems. We are we're not consuming, we're creating, we're we're not demeaning, we're affirming, all those kinds of things, man. I mean, we should be the power plant. We should be the structure.
Yeah. I mean, that's just to put it, that in a nutshell. I mean, the strong masculine uplifts. It uplifts
Mm-hmm.
others. It
Mm-hmm.
raises things up. It's the feminized, the weak, the validation looking, seeking masculine that
Mm-hmm.
steps on.
Mm-hmm.
It's tugging on the skirts. It's stepping
Yeah.
on other people and pushing them down to try to uplift itself.
Yeah.
When you're a strong, healthy masculine,
Yeah.
it's natural and it's normal for you to uplift others, and that's where that validation, we bring that in.
Yeah.
That's where the good job, and
Mm-hmm.
when we were boys, we always wanted dad's approval. We wanted him to be
Mm-hmm.
proud of us. We wanted to feel that, like, validation from him, like, you did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, yes, firstborns like myself, sometimes we didn't get the way we wanted, but you
Mm-hmm.
know what? Dad's learning too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And maybe get it later on, but
Mm-hmm.
if you're not perfect, just keep
Yeah.
going.
And you know what? Some of us, you may never get it from dad. I mean, most of us have a father wound, right? And some
Yeah.
of our fathers are not even here anymore. So, it's like, At some, but that in again, therein lies the whole idea of we got to find our growth, we got to find our sharpening, we got to find our challenges in some kind of a circle or some kind of a way within our lives. And again, that doesn't happen on the couch. It doesn't happen in front of a screen. We were not made to be in front of screens for a long period of time. And brother, if you're in front of any screen for a long period of time, then it's the dulling of who you are. I mean, I don't care. I work on a computer screen all day, but so I'm not talking, but I have to recognize that every hour that I spend in front of the screen, it's a flat surface. I mean, I'm not growing. I can't grow beyond that. And so I got to find a way to challenge myself. And again, that could be physical. It could be mental. It could be emotional. It could be relational. I mean, it could be growing yourself, reading books. It could be taking classes. It could be getting life coaching. It could be whatever, just getting down and doing some push-ups. Do 22 push-ups a day for the veterans. I mean, whatever it is.
I mean, the first challenge I would give anybody, and this is one of those challenges that, especially now, especially with everything going on, get out, get away from the screen. You don't have to like make it a big deal. I know a lot of times one of my biggest things that I've had to work on was I make these huge goals that are they're so big that there's no way I can make it. But just challenge yourself to get out around other people. If you get around other men, especially if they're in the same boat as you, where they've been isolated behind the screen all day, get out with them and just have a conversation or go have a beer or go hit the links, just get out.
Yeah.
Once you're in that presence of those other men, it will naturally boost you up.
And you got to find ways to find those circles, man. I got a men's group, a guys group that meets in my house every Tuesday, man. I mean, I got friends, I got brothers like you that I do and reach out to and spend time with, man. I'd go down and do steps with a buddy of mine, down in Castle Rock kind of thing. But your whole point of getting outside of your space, go for a freaking walk. I mean, the earth, the land outside is feminine. Put your masculine inside of that feminine, man. Just listen to the breeze, watch the trees, and just listen to the air, look at the clouds, listen to the birds, watch the squirrels, whatever it is, man. Get out into that space, man, and just and just get outside of that little bubble, man. You're not gonna find challenge in the same place you find comfort.
Yeah. And for the nice guys out there, because I know I was one, and part of being a nice guy is tending to avoid other men. You think, oh, well, men are going to be mean to me. They're going to be jerks. They're going to be that. Let me tell you something. Once you get out there, there's so many men looking for brotherhood. They're looking for other friends. Like once I started going to the racetrack, and I'm there consistently. I mean, the nicest guys in the world. I mean, they will help you out. They come up, and now we have this common goal. We want to get ready for the races. So we're helping each other get the carts ready. We're helping each other, with gearing and things like that. But there were at no point other than the normal masculine, just kind of jibbing and challenging and joking, has there been any sort of animosity or anything like that. So put it out of your head if you're in that kind of nice guy syndrome of fearing like, oh, well, guys are going to be mean or they're going to challenge me. It's not going to happen. More guys are in the same place that you are, looking for brotherhood, looking for friendship, looking for that connection. Get out there and give an opportunity. Maybe even do like Kirk, open your house up to some friends, have a poker night, something like that. Doesn't take much.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, man, that group that meet here, man, we have a book that we're reading through, man. And it's, we just unpack that stuff. But, something you said kind of intrigued me, that when you are in a nice guy space, you don't like being around guys.
Yeah.
It is almost like a fear of being challenged, which to me, again, speaks to the boy in the man. When you fear challenge, then that is your boy saying, no, I want to be comfortable. I want to just be in mommy's basement. I just want to be in my room, playing Xbox, whatever. That's like the boy that just, I want to open the refrigerator and always have something to eat. That's the boy, and when you said that, man, you're right. I mean, when you're in a nice guy kind of emasculated space, and most of us have been through at least a period in life where we're like that. When you're in that space, you don't like being around other guys, man. Maybe it intimidates you, or maybe it's just not appealing to you.
Yeah, you just want to be around the ladies because they're soft and comfortable and they're nice. But
I never thought about that, dude.
You're their buddy, but they don't find you attractive as much as you may find them attractive because you're not in your masculine.
Right.
You're in your feminine. You're in that cooperative, nice,
Yeah.
supportive state, which that's fine and all.
Yeah.
We can always switch back and forth, but
Yeah.
that's not where you're going to find your masculinity.
And every, I believe, and I've had this conversation with, with female friends of mine, etc. Um, but when you're with guys and you explore and you grow your masculinity, that makes you better in your relationship with a woman.
Yes.
I mean, that just makes you better. It makes you more solid, more secure. You're not looking for anything from her in terms of your identity. You're
Well,
bringing your identity to her.
yeah, I mean, that's why I think you brought the point up last time or time before. There's a lot of ladies out there. They're
Mhm.
just tired and they're
Mhm.
frustrated because all they're finding is nice guys, and they just want a
Mhm.
guy to be a guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, and like Nathan said, yeah, needy is creepy.
Yeah.
Quit being needy. And
Yeah.
so, I don't know how many times we say it, so we're gonna keep repeating it to get it out there. Ladies, your man needs a man needs
Yeah.
men.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing. When we are in relationship, we start to resonate towards each other. We start to
Mhm.
emulate each other. So she'll become more masculine, he'll become more feminine. Then you get to that kind of neutral space where there's no polarity, there's no sexual attraction,
Yeah.
and that's when it's like, okay, break, go
Yeah.
see, go to opposite corners. Ladies go to your ladies, men go to your men,
Yeah.
and recharge.
Yeah. And yeah, he says they need the true strength of the masculine, but so do other dudes in your circle. You're absolutely right, man. I
Yes,
need
sir.
other guys in my life, man. I need other guys. I mean, and it just comes back to
Mhm.
sharpening iron, man. I need other, and I don't necessarily need to agree with everything that other guy. They might have totally different perspectives, whatever it is, man. But I've recognized the fact that I need relationship, man. I need fellows in the fellowship, man. I need men in the ministry. I need guys in my life, man, to make me or to help me become the guy that I want to be.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of challenge, I mean, that's the topic tonight. You definitely want to be around guys that you don't agree with or you don't maybe
Yeah.
not completely get along with.
Hmm.
That's how you find your center. If you don't
Hmm.
have a challenge or a marker or something to judge yourself off of and go, I don't really agree with that guy, but I
Yeah.
respect his opinion. And oh,
Yeah.
wait, now I respect my opinion because I can hold my
Right.
opinion and not have
Yeah.
to agree with everything they
Yeah.
say.
And how do you grow unless you get around people with different ideas? I'm talking about growing like mentally and
Mhm.
all those kind. How do you grow unless you get around different opinions and different ideas and different, like, yeah, I never actually thought about that. And or no, I don't agree with that. The fact that you can not agree with somebody reinforces kind of just even who you are and what you are. And so yeah, man, other guys absolutely need that. You are a gift to another guy, just being around other guys, man, and being a challenge to another guy.
That's a great point because I mean, in the society of echo chambers that we live in now, if you're not out with other people with different opinions, with different perspectives, you're
Hmm.
not you're not going to find your own. I mean, that's part,
Right.
and I think that's part of the characteristics of nice guy syndrome is that you don't want to be challenged.
Hmm.
You want to find the echo chamber where everybody
Yeah.
agrees with you and there are no new. Well, you're not growing, you're stagnating, and
Right.
it's either growth or death. You're either
Yeah.
growing or dying.
Yeah.
You're flourishing or wilting. So
Hmm.
get around people with different perspectives will help you
Yeah.
find your own. It will help you
Yeah.
find that base of, oh, this is who
Hmm.
I am, this is what I
Yeah.
believe, and I'm good with that.
And then you can just accept the person for their differences in opinion. I mean, and especially, I mean, you think of something just like politics, man. We went through a toxic period, especially last year with just all the politics and elections and all that kind of stuff, man. And it's like we need to get to the point where I don't need to agree with everything so and so says. I don't need for us to. That's okay. I mean, it's uh, that's the whole idea of being able to accept a challenge and still like maintain who you are and maintain kind of what you are and what you believe. But I think all of that comes from just being around differences, being around again things that sharpen us, being outside of our comfort zone, and that's the whole idea of being challenged.
Yeah, yeah. Smooth doesn't sharp, rough sharpens.
Right.
You need that
Absolutely, man.
roughness to sharpen that edge,
Yeah.
and that being raised in a nice guy, feminized mentality with not having either a healthy masculine influence or you maybe not having a masculine influence at all.
Yeah.
You 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 tend to avoid challenge. You tend to avoid differences.
Yeah.
You want everything to be perfect and soft and comfortable.
Yeah.
But men don't want comfortable. Masculine
Yeah.
doesn't want comfortable. Masculine is challenging. And
Yeah.
yeah, you can, after your challenge, you can come back to comfortable. I mean, I still got my
Hmm.
couch and comfy couch and recliner, and my bed's nice and
Hmm.
comfy, but
Yeah.
I don't ever sleep as well, or I don't ever feel as comfortable until after I've done the challenging thing.
Right.
Until, if I'm not sore a little bit, and I mean
Yeah.
that's been a new thing for me, like
Yeah.
just challenging myself. As a
Hmm.
man, as the masculine, you need to physically challenge yourself,
Yeah.
whether it's 20 push-ups and sit-ups before bed, and right after you get up, and
Yeah.
that's what I've started doing, is because with gyms closed and things like that, we go,
Yeah.
oh well, I
Hmm.
can't go work out, or I can't go do this,
Yeah.
or I don't want to wear the mask.
Hmm.
Do it at home. Challenge yourself. Find something
Yeah.
small you can do. There's something like 75 hard you can do, which is a
Yeah.
community that is, I mean, they call it 75. I mean, it's hard for a reason,
Yeah.
but it's something that you can join a community, something you can challenge yourself to do,
Yeah.
and allow yourself to fail, because that's where
Hmm.
we find that resiliency of, oh wait, I failed, I'm still alive. It didn't kill me.
Yeah.
If you're not
Yeah.
challenging yourself to find out what you can take, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not saying go get somebody to punch you in the face, but if you've never been punched in
Yeah.
the face, how do you know? You
Yeah.
know,
Man,
it's the challenge.
there's no shortage of groups, communities out there. Man, you can search Facebook. I mean, there's all kinds of all kinds of groups and people that do those kinds of things, man. And yeah, I think a sponge will never sharpen a sword. A stone will,
Yeah.
but you're not going to find it in the comfy, cushy places of life. So let's we're coming up on runway 90. We're landing to the east. Coming up on final approach here, man. I think my opinion is, I think I think I'll start where I end where I started with. If we're not challenging ourselves as men, we're living we're living out of a boy's heart. When we're seeking challenges in whatever kind of way, and challenging ourselves and allowing life to challenge us in good ways, but seeking challenge anyway, then we're living out of our man. And I think, quite often we get those opposite in terms of, I just want to take the easy route. Yeah, nothing good comes through the easy route.
Yeah, I mean, if you're like I was, like I still struggle with sometimes with struggle with isolation and depression, that means there's not enough challenge in your life. It's
Hmm.
you're being too comfortable.
Hmm.
If you don't feel like a man, if you feel too much like a nice guy, or you're too much in your emotions, get around men.
Hmm.
Challenge yourself. Get around other guys doing growth. And it
Hmm.
doesn't matter what kind of growth. I mean, I think the best thing you can do, especially nowadays, is not just one thing, but if you look at your life like a car, and you have four tires, there's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual.
Hmm.
And if one of those tires is full and nice and the rest of them are flat, you're not going
Hmm.
anywhere too quick.
Hmm.
So challenge yourself in each of those areas,
Yeah.
and find those things to help you balance, because the more you challenge yourself, the more manly you'll feel, the more
Hmm.
success you'll have in relationships, the more success you'll have in business and life.
Hmm.
So if you're not successful, if you feel like a failure,
Yeah.
maybe there's not enough challenge.
Well, I tell you what, man, it's getting warm outside. I'm ready to challenge myself on a golf course at some point soon, man. That's a challenge
Is
for
that
real.
did I
That's a
hear a
challenge.
challenge?
That's a challenge. That's a self challenge. But you better than me, man. So I ain't gonna talk no trash.
I hadn't
Um,
played since the last time we played. I don't know what you're talking about better than you.
I ain't played since the last time we played either. I don't think.
Well,
But yeah, I mean, so we're gonna do some challenging ourselves on some golf courses. If you're out there, if you're watching this and you want to go out there and swing some sticks, hit one of us up, man. We'll get it going, man.
yeah, I played with Carlos before. Come on, see,
Did
let's
you?
get out there again. We'll go play some more.
Let's get out there, man. Well, shoot, we can get in a 9 if nothing else one day or something. I don't know, man. Or we get a full run in. So
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
man. Well, this is good stuff, brother. I appreciate you again. If you're out there, like, subscribe, share, all those kinds of good
I
stuff.
challenge you
I
to
challenge
like,
you.
subscribe, and
Yeah,
share on
meet
this
the
channel.
challenge.
If you go to the top of the comments, you'll see our brand new Madman and Masculinity YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, and share it there. Because
Yeah,
once we get 100 subscribers, then we can make it professional, we can make it legit, and we can do this thing right and get out there for
boom,
everybody.
boom, my man. JBK, man. Hey, what if somebody wants to get a hold of you, man? What if they want to say, hey, can we go play golf? What if
Hmm.
they want to say, hey, JBK, can we talk? Or like I said, can we go play golf? How does somebody get a hold of you, man?
Best way, easiest way, you can check me out right here, jasonbkendrick.com. My email's there, my phone number's there, my books are there, some of our old videos are there.
Mm-hmm.
And this gentleman over here, how can people get a hold of you? I know
Yeah,
you talk about golf. I know you talk about men's groups. You talk about all these different things that you do. I mean,
You're always better at me in which way to point. I'm always pointing backwards. But the reason I did this a minute ago was just to figure out which hand is which, because I wanted to figure out which side I was going to do that.
The little tricks we use.
The little tricks in the trade. I was just trying to figure out, okay, is that the right side or the left side? All right, there we go. So yeah, there we go. That's how you get. Let's see, what is Nathan talking about? I'm down for golf, my man. All right, let's do it. But we don't have a clue how. But you guys can laugh at. Hey, we laugh at each other, man. Don't get it twisted.
We laugh at ourselves.
We laugh at ourselves, man. Do not get it twisted, brother. We is out there, man. But it is beautiful, man. And most people that play golf are really patient and just nobody's trying to impress nobody, man. We going out to just have some time together, man, and just iron sharpening iron, man. So let's do that.
And if golf's not your thing, come racing. Come on out to the track. We'll get you some speed going on.
We can do anything, man. We'll go do some stairs in Castle Rock. I don't know. We'll go do some.
My knee. I don't know if I can do no stairs.
Yeah, I know. Go do some stairs at Red Rocks. I don't care, man. We'll do something. The point is, we'll figure out something. Get a hold of one of us, and or even if you just want to talk, man, don't be alone.
Challenge yourself. If you can't challenge yourself, call one of us. We'll help you out there.
All right, my man. Well, we'll see you next time. Hey, man, I'm setting me up an office here in the house. He said racing. Sounds like he's down in it.
Sir.
Racing and stairs. He's got golf, everything, man. I'm down with it, brother. Reach out to us, man. We'll get it done, man.
We'll make it happen.
So I'm looking forward to setting my office around here, man. So I'm gonna have me a little different backdrop here pretty soon.
Nice.
That's gonna be pretty dope. But all right, brother. I love you, man. I appreciate you.
All right, peace. We love y'all, and we out.
See ya.